Good afternoon, everyone. For centuries, money was gold bars and paper notes, locked in vaults, managed by institutions operating on physical ledgers and quarterly statements. Today, billions of dollars move across the globe in seconds with a swipe of a thumb. My name is Emric, and today I am presenting Disruption in the Wallet, an analysis on how Fintech revolution is balancing unprecedented financial inclusion with a critical need for consumer protection. What is fintech? To start, we need a working definition. Fintech is simply the intersection of finance and technology automating and improving the delivery of financial services. This represents a societal shift, moving brick and mortar physical bank branches to a mobile first experience. We're talking about everything from tapping your card for coffee to getting a loan through an app. The key takeaway here is that traditional banks are quickly becoming back-end utilities while tech companies, who are experts at user experience, are taking over customer relationship. The sectors are vast: payments like Venmo, lending platforms like Sophie, the entire crypto ecosystem, and automated wealth management and robo-advising. This explosive growth creates crucial tension, which brings me to my central thesis. While fintech democratizes access to markets and drastically improves efficiency, it introduces unprecedented risks regarding data security and market stability. Therefore, we need modernized regulations that protect consumers without stifling the innovation that traditional banks fail to provide. I'll provide this by analyzing the democratization of markets and the regulatory gap, followed by specific case studies. Deep Dive 1: The democratization of finance. Let's look at the significant benefits first. Fintech has fundamentally broken down barriers to entry. We've seen the elimination of minimum balances and the widespread introduction of zero commission trading, making investing more accessible than ever. This is a huge win for financial inclusion. It allows banking the unbanked, where mobile wallets and digital payments enable millions in developing nations to participate in the global economy without needing a traditional bank account. Ultimately, fintech empowers the retail investor, giving regular people tools like complex data analysis and rapid training that were previously reserved for Wall Street professionals. Case Study A: The Robin Hood Effect. However, this new access comes at a steep price when combined with aggressive Silicon Valley engagement tactics. I want you to imagine opening an investing app for the first time. You expect a brokerage account, but it feels like you just launched a mobile game. The screen is bright, full of rounded buttons. You deposit $20, and the moment it clears, the screen explodes. Digital confetti rains down on you like you just beat a level. That vibrates. A cartoon animation tells you, "Nice, you're ready to start investing." Scrolling feels like browsing TikTok more than handling real money. The colors shift when there are market moves. Even buying your first share gets the celebration treatment. Another confetti burst, another bright banner, and another dopamine hit. Then, you get curious about options. High risk derivatives. You expect an intimidating approval process, but the app asks you a few simple questions with a grin and friendly, casual language. A couple taps later, you get a big green "You're approved" badge. This feels like unlocking a new feature in the game rather than gaining access to financial instruments that could wipe out your savings. People on Reddit had turned GameStop into a cultural explosion, and the stock skyrocketed, fueled by collective action. Every hour, the price went up, and every hour, the app celebrated. Each buy feels like a mission completed. For millions, the interface made trading feel fun and effortless. Until one morning, the celebration stopped. The buy button on GameStop disappeared. That had restricted buying on several meme stocks. The confetti was gone. The outrage was instantaneous. The company was accused of protecting hedge funds and trapping retail traders. The whole thing became one of the biggest financial controversies of the decade, proving that when engagement tactics are prioritized over user safety, financial tools can become a weapon of mass destruction. Deep Dive 2: The Security and Regulatory Gap. This gamification is just the surface level. When we look deeper into the back end, we find an even bigger issue: the regulatory gap. This Wild West technology moves faster than the law. While traditional accounts are FDIC insured, many fintech and crypto apps are not. If your bank fails, the government guarantees your funds up to $250,000. For many digital assets, there is no such safety net. If the platform is hacked, cracks, or is mismanaged, your money can be permanently lost. Moreover, these firms handle the most sensitive data we possess, our financial habits, which are subject to less rigorous privacy protection than traditional institutions. Case Study B: The FTX Collapse. The need for regulation wasn't abstract. It was devastatingly real with the collapse of STX. In 2021, Sam Bankman-Fried was the golden boy of the industry. He was on the cover of Fortune and Forbes and testified before Congress, building an image as the eccentric genius who could save crypto. He even bought the naming rights to the Miami Heat Arena. People believed the hype. But in November 2022, everything unraveled. A leaked balance sheet exposed that FTX wasn't a fault. It was a piggy bank. Sam was secretly using customer deposits, billions of dollars people thought were safe, to cover massive debts at his other company. He had even ordered code to be written that created a secret backdoor to move his money undetected. When the news broke, customers tried to resolve. The money simply wasn't there. FTX, valued at $32 billion, filed for bankruptcy. The real cost was human. A man in Ohio lost $320,000 saved for retirement. A student lost her entire college fund. One customer wrote, "I can't tell my wife. It was our down payment for our house." In total, over 1 million customers lost the estimated $8 to $10 billion. The aftermath: Sam was convicted on multiple counts of fraud and sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. The lesson is devastatingly simple. For years, the public trusted the branding rather than the balance sheet. FTX proved that without mandatory regulation and transparency, looking for high tech is not the same as being financially sound. Now, looking at these horror stories, it would be easy to conclude that we should ban fintech and go back to traditional banking, but that ignores the reality. Traditional banks were slow, expensive, and exclusive. Fintech has forced the entire industry to improve. They have forced big banks to lower fees, create better apps, and move faster. The consumer wins through this competition. The goal, therefore, is not to destroy fintech, but to govern it. We want to keep the speed and accessibility while adding necessary safety measures. To strike this balance, we need 3 proactive solutions. Regulatory sandboxes. We should allow startups to test new financial inventions under strict supervision before public release. This lets regulatory factors identify and neutralize risk early. Clear labeling. Mandatory, prominent disclosures are needed on all app platforms that are not FDIC insured. This forces users to confront the risk clearly. 3. Financial literacy. Education must be integrated into the app itself, requiring users to pass knowledge checks before trading risky, complex assets. We need safe infrastructure and an educated user base. In conclusion, the fintech revolution is a force for good, bringing necessary inclusion and efficiency to the global economy. But the scale of its disruption demands commensurate caution. We must prioritize governance that enforces fairness, demands transparency, and maintains safety. Technology changes how we move money, but it shouldn't change the value of trust. Thank you. Here are the sources for the use for this analysis.